In a second, for this man lost all of his family members. He killed them all. Forgive me, I didn't protect you. Serhiy Perebynis is a resident of Irpin, one of the cities that was first to take a hit from Russian occupiers on their way to Ukrainian capital. After the evacuation announcement, he and his wife, together with their daughter and son, tried to escape through a humanitarian corridor. But they couldn't do it. The Russian military opened fire on the family with mortars. A woman and 2 children died on the spot. Serhiy was wounded. After the loss of relatives, the grief-stricken man tried to find at least the dogs that were with his family at the time of the tragedy. Friends, I will fight for all members of my family. I hope for a miracle. Perhaps someone has seen them or knows where they are. After all, there were many witnesses. His 2 dogs were taken away by rescuers and handed over to veterinarians. Unfortunately, one dog's paw was torn off and he didn't live to see his master. For Serhiy and his family, this was the second attempt to escape from the war. In 2014, they were forced to leave their home in Russian-occupied Donetsk, but in 2022, the Russian war took away Serhiy's family in a peaceful Kyiv region. The cities of Irpin, Bucha, Vorzel, Gostomel, they lay at the entrance to Kyiv and have become a living shield of the Ukrainian capital. There is no electricity and gas, practically no network. The cities have nearly run out of food supplies and water. But not allowing humanitarian aid to these cities, Russian occupiers are literally starving their population. Also, green corridors continue to be shelled despite all the evacuation agreements. Ukrainians do not want war, but they will defend their land. In the video captured by security cameras of the city of Voznесenssk, Mykolaiv Oblast, 3 armed Russian occupiers are breaking into the country yard of civilians. But the hosts were not confused. They got out of the barn and went unarmed to attack the strangers. Uninvited guests began to back up, still trying to frighten the couple, but finally they went away. Close the sky over Ukraine to survive. Ukrainians are asking the world just for one thing. Kharkiv residents who have not left bunkers, subways and other shelters for several days sign appeals to NATO countries. After all, Kharkiv, a city near the Russian border, continues to be bombed by Russian troops. This is one of the cities that have suffered the most during 13 days of the war.
Europe is on the brim of a new nuclear catastrophe. This is a Enerhodar city in Ukraine. The largest in Europe nuclear power plant is located here. Unarmed residents of the city came out to prevent the Russian occupiers from seizing the nuclear power plant. They understand that any damage to the plant will cause an environmental catastrophe, the next Chernobyl or Fukushima. It is no longer a Ukrainian issue. It is a possible threat for the whole of Europe and even the world. For the first time in war history, the Russian army has deliberately attacked a nuclear power plant. It is definitely an act of state terrorism. Even if the concrete walls of the plant will deter the impact, its transformers and turbines are defenseless against mortars and tanks. If they are damaged, there will be a leak of a radiation cloud, and only the wind knows where this cloud goes. Ukrainians defend their land courageously, but their strength is limited. The Russian army acts like terrorists, shelling hospitals, maternity wards, kindergartens, and civil neighborhoods. Putin's army will stop at nothing, even if it means a nuclear disaster. We live in a global world. There are no walls of sanctions or money that will protect you from this disaster. The larger ecosystem of the region covers not only the Black Sea and multiple rivers that run through Ukraine, but also dozens of European countries that are less than 1,000 kilometers away. The outcomes of the possible tragedy will be catastrophic. They will last for decades and cost trillions of euros to overcome. While every Ukrainian is defending Europe with their bare hands from Putin's evil intentions, what does the world do? Europe and Ukraine's allies must act as decisively as the Ukrainian people. Protecting and closing the Ukrainian sky is the #1 task to avoid this catastrophe, because radiation has no nationality and stops at no borders.